When a woman senses you've lost interest, everything changes instantly. The balance of power that once seemed natural now flips, and her attention becomes a reflection of what you no longer give freely. The moment you stop chasing, she starts chasing you. This isn't manipulation or a game. It's the reality of human psychology. Men often drain themselves, giving energy and seeking approval, only to feel overlooked and unappreciated. Pulling back doesn't make you weak, it restores strength. You reclaim control, focus on your purpose, and prioritize your own growth. It is in that deliberate detachment that a man discovers the power of his presence, the value of his time, and the influence of his silence. She notices the absence before she understands it, and that curiosity becomes irresistible. You need to hear this today. Chasing diminishes respect, detachment amplifies it. When you choose yourself over constant validation, you set a standard she can't ignore. The way you hold your attention, your energy, and your focus communicates more than words ever could. And in that communication, the rules of attraction are rewritten. Why does she suddenly care more when you stop caring? The answer lies in the psychology of validation. Every time you chase, text first, or over-explain, you feed her ego with constant confirmation that she holds your attention. When that supply disappears, it creates a gap she cannot ignore. The loss of validation sparks curiosity. She begins to wonder why your tone changed, why your replies slowed down, or why you didn't follow up on a plan. That curiosity grows into restlessness, and restlessness often turns into pursuit. The fear of abandonment is wired into human behavior, but for women especially, the absence of attention feels like a mirror reflecting their own insecurities. A canceled plan signals that she is no longer your top priority. A delayed reply makes her ask, "What is he doing that's more important than me?" Going silent for a day plants the idea that your life doesn't orbit around her approval anymore. These small moments trigger a powerful reaction because they challenge her sense of control. Detachment flips the script. Instead of you worrying about her next move, she begins to invest energy figuring out yours. The shift may feel subtle, but it is decisive. By not feeding the cycle of constant reassurance, you force her to confront her own desire, and in doing so, you regain leverage in the dynamic. Attraction is always about balance, and nothing shifts that balance more than the distribution of attention. When you chase, you hand over power. You communicate that her approval matters more than your own self-respect. That signal is read instantly, and the dynamic tilts against you. Detachment corrects that imbalance. By refusing to invest all your energy into chasing, you send a new message. Your focus belongs to yourself, your mission, and your growth. This creates what psychologists call a power shift. She no longer feels secure in unlimited access to your attention, and that uncertainty makes her value it more. Weak men give freely, hoping for scraps of affection. Strong men give selectively, and women instinctively respect that boundary. Chasing shows desperation, detachment shows strength. It is not about coldness. It is about sovereignty over your emotions. When you no longer react to every test or crave constant reassurance, you move into a different category. You stop being another man fighting for validation and become the man she cannot easily predict or control. That unpredictability forces her to adjust, to wonder, and to invest more effort. Power is not given, it is taken back. And the fastest way to take it back is through disciplined detachment, where your actions show that your worth is not determined by her response, but by your own standard. Silence is a man's loudest tool. When you step back and stop filling the space with explanations, constant messages, or reassurance, it communicates more than words ever could. Women are wired for connection, for emotional exchange. And when that flow suddenly stops, it triggers reflection. She begins to replay conversations, analyze past interactions, and notice the energy she once took for granted. That silence creates tension, curiosity, and a subtle sense of loss. It is not punishment, nor is it cruelty. It is structure. By choosing when and where to invest your attention, you control the narrative without saying a single word. Many men break this principle by rushing to fill the void, sending messages to clarify, or giving in to emotional impulses. That is weakness. The grounded man holds his frame. He lets absence do the work. Each unanswered message, each withheld response, is a mirror showing her the value she lost and the independence you gained. Over time, the psychological pressure grows. She begins to wonder if you are truly done, if she miscalculated your interest, and whether she can regain a connection. That wondering is irresistible, a natural human response to scarcity and perceived loss. Detachment amplifies desire because it forces her to confront reality. It shows her that attention is not infinite and that your presence is earned, not assumed. When silence is maintained, curiosity and longing naturally replace indifference. Testing is inevitable. Once she senses your detachment, she will probe boundaries to see if the old dynamic still exists. This is not manipulation, it is instinct. She wants to measure whether she still holds influence over your emotions. Subtle questions, sarcastic remarks, or attention-seeking gestures are all tests designed to provoke a reaction. Most men fail here because they interpret these tests as threats and react emotionally. They over-explain, chase, or justify themselves, signaling that control has slipped back into her hands. The disciplined man understands that her actions are outside events, and his only control is his response. He remains calm, unmoved, and silent when necessary. This steadfastness communicates strength without confrontation. By not reacting, he lets her realize the gap between who he was when he chased and who he has become in detachment. That gap is powerful. It creates intrigue, uncertainty, and renewed respect. Each test she throws becomes a reflection of her desire and the fear of losing what she once assumed was guaranteed. When handled correctly, these moments filter out the indifferent and attract the women who value stability, strength, and emotional sovereignty. She cannot manipulate what she cannot control. By maintaining composure, you turn tests into an opportunity. Each challenge reinforces your standard and plants the seed of longing, curiosity, and attraction. In this way, tests become proof of your growth, and she cannot ignore it, no matter how subtle or strategic her attempts to regain influence. Memory is a silent but relentless force. Once you detach, she begins to recall moments she once overlooked. The consistency, the support, the quiet strength you showed when others failed. These memories sharpen in the absence of your presence, magnifying what she took for granted. Every gesture, every word, every effort that went unnoticed suddenly carries weight. The brain naturally contrasts past experiences with present reality, and this comparison triggers longing and regret. It is not about manipulation, it is about natural reflection. When she notices that no one else matches your level of attention, respect, or emotional stability, the contrast becomes undeniable. She starts to recognize what was unique in you and what she lost. The weight of memory works hand in hand with detachment. The more absent you are, the stronger these memories become. She replays your moments of care, your patience, your calmness in chaos, and realizes the standards she dismissed. Memory fuels desire because it reminds her that what was available without effort is now gone. This is where your past behavior intersects with your present independence. If you showed discipline, integrity, and self-respect, those qualities now echo in her mind, creating longing and curiosity. Weakness, neediness, or inconsistency leaves no lasting imprint. Strength does. By walking away while maintaining composure, you allow her mind to fill the gap with reflection. Those reflections deepen her appreciation for your presence and intensify her desire, making the absence you created unforgettable and psychologically powerful. The cost of taking you for granted becomes undeniable. When she finally realizes that your presence is no longer guaranteed, the full weight of loss hits. It is not immediate, it is gradual, like a shadow that grows with each passing day of your absence. She begins to see what she sacrificed: stability, strength, respect, and consistency. This recognition is powerful because it is irreversible. Your detachment has created a permanent gap, and no amount of attention can fill it retroactively. The psychology of scarcity amplifies regret. Humans value what is rare, and your absence signals that your time, energy, and attention are limited and earned. She now measures her choices against the reality of your independence. Each late message, casual like, or attempted engagement becomes evidence that she misjudged your worth. This moment is not about revenge, it is about truth. By maintaining composure, discipline, and emotional sovereignty, you force her to confront her miscalculation. She cannot manipulate or control what she cannot regain instantly. The silence, the distance, and the unwavering focus on your life become a mirror reflecting her lost opportunity. In that reflection, curiosity, longing, and desire peak simultaneously. She experiences the gravity of what she let slip away. And that is the power of detachment fully realized. The man who refuses to compromise his value transforms from being overlooked to unforgettable. His life, purpose, and independence become the ultimate reminder of what she lost. And the regret she feels solidifies your unmatched strength and magnetic presence.